Hi, it's Benjamin at Music Academy Soundcheck, and today I want to talk about practice methods. If you are just beginning on the drums, that's perfect for you, because there might be tons of tips that are very helpful for you to better your practice. I will rely on this basic rock groove. You should be able to play combinations with the hi-hat and the bass drum, and also with the hi-hat and the snare drum. If that's too hard for you, please go back to an introductional video on this. If you aren't able to read sheet music until now, please go back to this video where I'm explaining that. Okay, why can it be so important to work on your practice methods? If they aren't that good, the problem is it will take a lot of time. You will practice a lot of mistakes, and in consequence you will get frustrated when practicing new stuff. A good practice sequence makes all that much better. You're so much more effective. You make your body to do the right things much faster, and in consequence you'll get further on, and as a hobby player you'll have much more fun. So let's dive into that. You got a new groove you want to practice, and the first thing you have to do is to check the right order of the notes. What do you want to play here? For that, I'm playing that bar very, very slow. Do you see that? I really want to be able to read with the sheet music and play stroke after stroke. So now I'm sure that I played everything right when I played it the first time. I wanted to do that about 5 times. You won't believe how helpful that is, because your body gets used to it right after these couple of repetitions. This is very powerful up to very complex stuff. As you can see, you can slow down it so much that every note that can come up there is just one after another. Okay, let's try it a bit faster. If that's really new for you, I'm sure it can get tricky right away. The notes get closer to each other and you won't have the time to think about each one itself. At this time, I want you to break down a bar like this. You can play only the first half of that. I want to repeat that a couple of times. Maybe you saw what I did with my head here. I wanted to point out to really focus on that position where you're struggling. And I mean it by that. You really have to think about that position each time you come past that. The first time you won't do it, you'll play a mistake right away. I'm sure about that. You even can break down it furthermore. Just play the second quarter note, the snare on the hi-hat and the bass drum on the hi-hat after that. Did you like these last tips? Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like and let me know in the comments what was the most useful to you. Okay, let's say you practiced and played the basic standard classic rock groove the last weeks. You will notice that the main difference is that bass drum on the two end after the snare. And the exercise we just did is perfect for that. You have to get used to play the bass drum right after the snare drum. I promise, when you did that 5 times, 10 times, spend 5 minutes on that, it will be so much easier now to get in the groove with the whole bar. Again, focus on that position each time you get past that. Cool, I'm happy we made it until here. Let's talk about how much you should repeat the things. I already said that you should repeat it 4 to 5 times in a very slow tempo. As you can see, I play the groove here most of the times 2 times. And if you have a drum coach or looking to other videos, that might be common, because we teachers want to show you what we're doing so that you can work on that more intense. In consequence, I want to point out, please repeat everything at least 4 times. Play it 8 times. And when you start grooving with that, start repeating that, play it at least 16 or 20 times. That's what you should do right now. Stay quite slow again, maybe a tiny bit faster, and repeat it 20 times. Maybe half a minute, maybe a full minute right away. So I will play it 4 times for you. As you could see, I didn't make a mistake at all, okay? I'm your teacher, so I have a lot of experience in that, right? But I want you not to make too many mistakes. If you try that the first time, too many hi-hats, one more time. What's all that? You're only practicing mistakes and frustrate yourself. Even worse is that your body gets used to that and it's even harder to get it out again. How long should you practice this? I think if you do this regularly, meaning that you're practicing maybe 3 times a week, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, and spend, let's say, 15 or 20 minutes of that each time you practice on that groove. It's realistic that you get used to it in a week quite good. If you're practicing less, take 2 weeks for that. One more important thing to talk about is, what goals do you have? You should always have goals, bigger goals and tinier goals. What's our big goals? I think at least I want you to have in mind what you want to do with this one. I take this for granted because you want to just working on it. But if you really don't like the sound of that groove or don't know for what song, for what music, for what you want to use this, maybe you should drop it. But when you're sure you won't be able to play this, let's make smaller goals. It's always a bit vague what's good in playing, right? Maybe that you're able to play it really fast, but what about the tight drumming, the grooviness? You want to play it exact, and of course you want to play it without mistakes, and you want to play it with a great sound and intensity, and yeah, you see, there's a lot of aspects, right? So focus on some of that. You want to be able to play that in 1 or 2 weeks, to play it correct, without any mistakes. You want to play it fluently, in a medium tempo. Cool, congratulations. If you work through like that, I'm quite sure you made your goals. Maybe you could see I always had to hold back a bit, huh? I wanted to play a crash in the beginning and at the end. Just right away I played a tiny fill at the end of my groove. I want to point out that's nothing to take for granted. If you aren't used to that, practice that separately. Of course, that might be a next big goal again, huh? Because you want to combine that. You want to jam, you want to play it in a song, switching between the fills and the grooves and much more. So I'll just point out that shortly it will be part in the next video, I think. So what you want to do is to decide on the particular fill you want to play and play in between these grooves. Sorry, I wanted to play without a crash. Yeah, practice the crash separately. Make sure you know what you're doing here. You wanna switch the first hi-hat on the bass drum to the crash. Exchange that. And after that, you have to go to the second note of the bar, which is the separate hi-hat. That's the motion you need. You want to practice that new motion. You have to start with your right hand here, and after that stroke you have to go back to the hi-hat without playing the bass drum at this moment. Practice these two notes separately. After that, try to go through to the 2, the snare and the hi-hat. And after that, practice that with the full bar. These are all things we practiced separately in the past. Each transition between the last tom to the crash and the bass drum, or from the groove to the fill. We practiced that separately to make sure our body got used to this. Okay, I'm pretty sure I forgot something. If you recognized it, please let me know in the comments. If you're happy with these tips, make sure you subscribe to the channel and come back the next time. I hope you have a lot of fun trying that out and see you in the next time. Bye!